You've pointed out some inaccuracies and some events that lack evidence. Ridley Scott's response to you was pretty succinct. How do you effing know you weren't there?
No, that's right. Which means that no historian could ever write any history prior to the day they were born, in my case 1963. No, we weren't there. However, fortunately, all of the people around Napoleon were there. Napoleon also wrote very extensive memoirs, and they all wrote down what actually happened, and so we are able to tell what happened, despite not personally having been around 200 years ago.
How much of the film is, in your terms, accurate?
Of the 2 hours, 38 minutes, I'd say 38 minutes.
You've also been having a go at The Crown, where it's much more recent history.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are meant to be entertainments, of course. They're not documentaries. You're not expected to have everything absolutely accurate. But Ridley Scott didn't call his show a generic French 19th century emperor, did he? He actually called it Napoleon. So I think it's right. It's okay for us to say what's accurate. With regard to The Crown, however, that first series, my friend Hugo Vickers found 1,000 factual errors in the course of the first series alone. So really, there is a point at which something becomes not even infotainment, but pure entertainment. And the danger is, I think, Trevor, that in the United States, it's considered to be a documentary. It's almost history.
Yeah, but we can't do everything to please Americans. So, American viewers, we love you. But it's not just the issue of history and works of the imagination isn't new. Shakespeare's history was notoriously shonky. I mean, he puts the most famous assassination in history, Julius Caesar, in the wrong place. In Macbeth, it wasn't Macduff who murdered Macbeth, it was Malcolm, wasn't it? Nobody's complaining about that.
No, but remember what kind of problems he had to face when he was writing, especially his history plays, of course. Queen Elizabeth I was on the throne. She was a Tudor when he was writing about the Plantagenets, and indeed killing kings and emperors, just like the two that you just mentioned. There was an enormous amount of political pressure on him not to be too factual. There's no political pressure on Ridley Scott or the makers of The Crown not to be too factual. They could be very easily, and they'd tell a better story if they did. This is my major problem, really, is that if we didn't see Napoleon firing cannons at the pyramids and taking part in cavalry charges, neither of which he did, but actually looked at what he was genuinely doing in Egypt and the way in which he actually was a strategist, if we were told why he was a great emperor, which there's not a single second in the whole show